Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of Taught2Profit.com, and today I want to talk to you about the words you speak and why you must guard your lips. I was talking with someone, and they know about the power of your words, but they keep falling into this default pattern of speaking forth the things they don't want. And they were just talking up, well, this bad thing happens, or you don't understand because I'm old, or this or that, and just making constant excuses for the things they're experiencing in their life they don't want to experience, and continuing to talk those things up. Not once mentioning the goodness of God. Not once mentioning God gives them strength. Nothing about that. Just the bad things. And then you remind these people, and they get on the right path for a little bit. A few days, maybe a week, maybe even a month at most. And then they're right back in that pattern. This is something you have to be on guard for. It's so easy to get complacent. It's easy to fall into the world's way of doing things, which is the world's way of doing things is speaking the problem. It's talking up the problem. Kids are raised from early on to believe that the news is telling them things they need to know, and that they're being informed by hearing all this bad stuff. So from very early on, people are taught to speak the problem, not to talk the solution, not to talk up God's goodness, not to speak boldness of faith, but to be in doubt and unbelief, to be frightened, to be worried, to be panicked, to be anxious. So you have a world around you that is speaking forth worry. They're speaking forth fear. They're not in faith. And yes, that applies to a whole lot of pastors, a whole lot of churches, a whole lot of professing Christians. So you got to be on guard around them. You can't let your guard down any point in time, because there's someone trying to talk you into speaking like the world. There's someone, and they're not even doing it to try to sabotage you. It's just what they do. So if you talk positive and upbeat and you speak forth the words of life, you speak forth by the leading of the Spirit, they don't understand that. And they'll try to drag you down to where they are because it's all they understand. They don't understand that positive, upbeat mentality. They'll speak against positivity. You'll hear people babbling about toxic positivity, which is nonsense. Because positivity has nothing to do with ignoring the reality around you. It has to do with rising above it. You can recognize bad things going on and then rise above that. Be victorious. Not be a victim wallowing around in the mire saying, oh, poor me, life is so hard. Oh, you don't understand, when you get old, this bad thing happens and that bad thing happens. Well, the government's doing this. Well, the economy, and just all this nonsense. Even if you don't believe in the understanding of positivity, you have to understand that doesn't do you any good. All this rambling and talking up the things you don't want, the bad experience of your life, doesn't bring you any resolution. Doesn't make you feel better, maybe temporarily, because people talk about they like ranting and just a trauma dump or whatever nonsense they like to talk about, and they feel a little bit better because they got this all out of their system. But the thing is, they didn't get it all out of their system. They got a big portion of it out, and they're just going to revisit it again and again and again and again. All they've done is planted the seed of negativity, watered it, and they get more harvest of it. They got more things to complain about. They have more rants, and they just keep going over and over in this endless cycle that is not what they want. And listen, I understand I'm telling you something that you need to do that is more difficult. I wrote a book called The 7-Day Positivity Diet that deals with this. And I get that this is difficult when you're coming from that perspective of the world, talking like the world talks, thinking like the world thinks. It's hard to follow Philippians 4:8. It's hard to think only about things that are lovely and of good report. I get that. I'm not lightening that and pretending like it's not really difficult at first. But here's the thing. Many people don't really put forth much effort in it. And it's worth striving for if you want a better life. And who doesn't want a better life? But the reality is, many people will say they want a better life, but their words and their actions prove they really don't. Because if you did, you'd do things differently. If you did, you'd speak differently. You wouldn't just keep down the same path that's getting you bad results and just keep doing it over and over again. You would stop. You would analyze what's going on around you. You'd analyze, what are the causes of this? And you start making some tweaks and making some changes. Listen, if my life was in shambles and I was having everything from financial to health issues, I would start addressing every single thing I do each and every day. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I would start writing it down, figuring out, why did I do this? Is this helping me or hurting me? Oh, I drank 2 cups of coffee. Why? Because I needed energy? After I just got through sleeping and my body is rested and repaired, and now I need energy just to function for the day? Something's wrong there. So I would start addressing that. Well, I didn't exercise at all today. Okay, that's a problem. Maybe that's why I don't have any energy. Because see, the world will tell you, oh, you exercise, you use up your energy exercising. It's the exact opposite. Exercising will give you more energy. So you don't have to wake up and go grab a coffee just to get going for the day. But this is what many people are not willing to do. Start making changes, start observing what's going on in your life and what you're doing each and every day. And if your life's not working out the way you want, what changes are you making to get the life you do want? And one of the most important things you need to do is to change your thinking and change your speech. If you keep speaking forth those things you don't want, you keep meditating and worried and fearful and anxious about those things, you're going to keep getting bad results. And no one really wants that. But many people are not willing to do the work that is required to actually get the good life. Basically, it's apathy and laziness that creeps in, and they'd rather just lay around and do nothing and have a mediocre life that's not good, not what they want, than to have to take some action and do some hard things at first. And they may not be that hard for you even. But for many people it will be, and I'm just telling you that so you don't set up this false expectation for yourself and it gets a little hard and you immediately give up. I want you to know that it could be hard for you at first, and you just keep pushing forward. You don't let defeat come in. You become victorious. So I want to encourage you today to do this, to really go throughout your day and look at what you're doing, look at the behaviors you're exhibiting, look at the actions you're taking, look at the thoughts you're thinking, look at the words you're speaking, and really examine prayerfully, let the Spirit lead you. Are these actions, are these words, are these thoughts fruitful for my good? Are they bringing about the best results for other people's good? Are they good in the least? And really be brutally honest with yourself. Don't lie. Don't pretend, well, I need to say this bad thing so I can get it out of my system. Stop lying to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Address the issues. Deal with them. And start thinking those things that are lovely and good report, and decreeing the words of faith, those bold words of life that bring about the great results you want, and take action on them. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.